Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Chris Bradley, owner of the MRR agency and fitnessads.ai. This channel is specifically for coaches, business owners to go from 10k to 20k beyond per month. And today's video is exciting because we are covering a part of the 500,000 scaling roadmap that we use with our clients, and I want to show you through it. So first things first, why 500,000 scaling roadmap? Well, look, listen, we both know 500,000 is a lot of money, 500,000 in revenue. And I don't know the stats, but there's very, very, very few businesses that ever get there. So I don't want you to watch this video and think, oh my God, 500,000, I'm nowhere near that. I'm just covering the stages and constraints and struggles that business owners face from my experience helping business owners and from my experience running businesses. So we are going to cover, we have already covered in a previous video, going from 0 to 50k per year, 50,000 in annual revenue. And today is all about the next stage. We got very clear on the last video around the constraints and the struggles that you face when you're at what I call stage 1, which is 0 to 50k. And today we are all about the 50k to 100k. And honestly, when you get to 100k a year, life can really, really change. It's exciting. A lot changed in my life when I hit that number. And of course, this is where you get a real taste for business. And this is where you also start to get anxious. You spend a lot more money and you live like a bit of a king or a queen. And this is when you need reined in. I hate to spoil the parade, but it really is when you need to get reined in. So first things first, you'll see here from the camera, stage 2, 50k to 100k. So this is when you hit stage 2. You've got momentum, the business is growing, you've proven the offer, you're bringing in clients and the income is solid, but you're still holding the whole thing together very, very frantically. The goal now is to build the systems that makes the growth sustainable. Sounds very defensive minded, but the truth is, like, when I see people at this income bracket, they are one bad month away from panic, because when you start to make good money, what is perceived as good money, it's all relative. Your expenses go up, you start living in that way, and then you start to hire people, hire contractors, hire one-time people to do things. Before you know it, you have a lot of one-time expenses that are actually just recurring, and you have to pay a lot of things all the time. Client events, advertising, staff, whatever it is, it just mounts up. And so one minute you hit a 10k month, for example, the next you think like a 10k coach or a 10k business owner. You start to, do all the things that a 10k business owner would do. And then the following month you hit 8k or 7k. And before you know it, you've got a 10k, 10k running costs, or a 10k business owner's running costs with a 7k salary. It's very, very dangerous when you get to this stage. Again, if you get there, amazing. There's not many who do get there. But of course, I want to bring you into reality here. I'm not going to promise you all this extra money. I want to actually make you stable and sustainable. So the big challenge here is you're still in every part of the business. You as the business owner and the founder, you're in every part of it. And this is from lead gen all the way through to check-ins, or how you fulfill your service. It's all on you. Things are working, but nothing's kind of built to last. And stage 2 is a bit of a reminder. This is what the data tells you at stage 2. You should be tracking your content rhythm and what that content's actually doing. What's the return on the content and your acquisition channels? How many DMs you start, or how many conversations, inbound and outbound. You really need to know your numbers at this point. And then just basic funnel metrics, like what's the main funnel or the main sales process for you to get new clients. And then, trust me, I've been very weak at this for years, but data now builds the structure. So oftentimes when I get onto a coach who's struggling at the 100k mark, or between 50 and 100k, they just don't know their numbers because they're so frantic, busy and stressed that they don't even get time to track. And everything in this part here goes on emotion, because you've kind of hustled your way here. You've grinded your way here, and you can't grind past this number. You just can't. It's impossible. You don't have enough hours in a day. And this is where you've got to really rely on some data to help you. So let's look at the constraints here by department. So we've obviously broken it into market clarity, lead generation, brand authority, operations and systems, and leadership and team. So these are the type of constraints that you can come across. I'm sharing them with you so that you can preempt these constraints and get ready for it and start to tweak and make changes now so that you can, ultimately break past the 100K barrier. So market clarity, the offer isn't positioned as premium enough. So what's often happened here when you're putting your message out there to get to the sort of 100K mark is you've just started tweaking your offer, you've put it out there, some people have got it, and then you've changed it and you've upped some prices, and then there's 60% of clients who are on the old price point. And then when you go to put your offer out to the market, it's kind of just feature focused, but also outcome focused, and there's some guarantees in there, and it's a bit all over the place. And so the clients that you've got in, they're all a little bit disjointed. So whenever you go to spread your message, it's quite general and it's not magnetic. By the way, getting you to 100K a year is an amazing, amazing thing. But to get past that next level, hard work isn't required. It's you need people to come to you for your expertise. And that's where you get that market clarity because you're cutting through the noise. Lead generation, ad spend is probably inefficient or inconsistent. So you're maybe just putting some ads behind some posts that you do now and again. Maybe you're running a campaign and you're like, let's put some money behind it. But you genuinely haven't got to a stage where your ads are turning a tap on and off in a powerful, powerful way, almost like a waterfall system. You've also got no repeatable content or lead gen systems. Again, it's all very reactive. Whenever you've got time, you're out there marketing. Maybe you've tried one or two things in the last few years that's worked and you just rinse and repeat that instead of cranking it up, instead of improving it. And then brand authority. The audience knows you, but they don't trust the brand just yet. They kind of, I've heard about that person and heard about that business, kind of trust it, read some reviews and things like that. But you really don't have market authority yet in your niche. You're just kind of known. And you're still selling through personality, not process. Now, I'll never tell you not to sell through personality, but the truth is you have to have a process at this point because of these fluctuating months. And honestly, the people watching this or who's maybe like at 3-4K, you'll bite your hand off to be in this position. But the truth is, these people are in this position. If you're watching this and you're at that level, it doesn't feel great. Like the stress is all relative. Whatever you struggle with is relative to the individual who's feeling that stress. Okay. And this is one of the things I hate that business coaches say to people is like, oh, just be a great coach. Just be great at what you do. And it's like, there's not enough these days. Like you can't just be good at, like it'll get you so far, but it's not going to be the thing that gets you to the next level. Okay. So you need a process when it comes to brand authority. And that's all about, pushing your voice out there in a way that, is everything from retargeting to your whole propaganda message that you've got as an individual and as a business. And most importantly, you can have it, but you need to put it out to the world. Okay. Operations and systems, so no automated onboarding or delivery flows. It's all a bit clunky. You've used some systems, but truth be told, the videos and the systems haven't been updated. And especially now with the rise of AI and all these apps that are better, that can cut through your time from onboarding to speed to value to client result. So you need to revisit them. You've just been so busy, you've not been able to do it. SOPs missing or only in your head. You don't have a company structure. Like if someone comes on your company, you have to spend about 10 hours bringing them up to speed with everything. Leadership and team. So maybe your VA that you've got, or maybe a coach that you've got working for you, or a team member. They're pretty overloaded or they're quite unclear on tasks. So you've kind of got some people doing bits for you. It's a bit unclear and you're kind of just waiting for them to come to you and it's a little bit reactive. And that's from a leadership and team perspective. And then you still check every client touch point in comms because you've got that attachment. It's your baby. Your business is your baby. So you're scared to let it fully go. And the truth is, having that is going to live in your head. And when you get to 100K, to get to the next level, you need to control your bandwidth. You need to control how much time you're spending on tasks that move the needle versus tasks that are working in the business, okay, not on it. So that's the constraints by department. Now we have solutions. I'll fire through these very quickly because I appreciate I'm just reading it off it. But we have market clarity. I want you to rework your offer, headline and promise. Make sure you've got a pen and notepad here. I want you to raise your price if demand is greater than supply, right? And this is an emotional one and I know you're going to fight me for this. But if you're still getting leads and you're getting people inquiring, but you're stuck at this income bracket, it means that demand is higher than supply. So you need to charge more money. Audit your competitors and refine your position against your competitors. When you get to 100K, you're kind of stretching how much juice you've squeezed out of everything organically or through hustling hard. So the best way to do this is to audit whatever else your potential market are buying into or could buy into and find your ideal positioning. Lead gen, set a 3-month content plan with 3 call to actions per week. Build 2 lead magnets or DM trigger assets per week. Switch on a disruptive ad system with simple retarget and follower ads, £10 to £20 per day. By the way, I hope you're realising this is very, very tactical and I'm actually giving you the stuff to go away and do versus all these other YouTube channels that's just fluff. Brand authority, film and post 1 client case study a month, and I'm talking a proper client case study. It'd be ideal if you can go meet the client, set up a camera and just film the case study, use it, chop it up, put it on YouTube and make some shots out of it and get it up. Do this religiously, once a month at least. And what happens is you'll end up with a page that's just all your client results done well, actually sitting down with another human being, which of course is crucial during the AI period. Build a library of client results, install in all the marketing channels, use before and after storytelling formats, problem, process, proof. Make sure you've got a project set up in ChatGPT where you can just plug in the story and it helps you with all the writing, or at least takes a lot of the legwork off you, and you obviously tell the real story, but just get the framework in. Operations and systems, 5-star onboarding reflecting your new price point. Track key sales metrics to maximize leads. Fully operational client CRM, client relationship manager. Start using the 80-20 MRR and pay in full model, which is just 80% of your revenue should come from MRR. That's including like your expenses, your wage as well, not just the minimum expenses. And then 20% of the rest of the revenue you go out and look for in a new month is going to come from pay in full options to protect your cash flow, you reinvest that back into ads. And that's what we found with helping businesses. The perfect formula is 80-20. This will allow your income to be more stable, not more stressful. Leadership and team. Hire a part-time VA with a clear task list. Make a standard operating procedure for them. Hold a weekly ops review. So anybody in your team, even if they're contractors, hold a weekly call so that you can get everybody together and you can understand what they're doing and they're clear for the week. Don't say you're too busy. You need to get everybody moving in the same way, in the same direction. And of course, SOPs for any repeated tasks. This will feel like a bit of hard work, but you as the owner of the company, I want you to sit down Monday to Saturday and just document everything that you do in that week. And what you'll see is you'll see a trend of stuff that you do. And then when someone else is coming into the business, you can hand some of that stuff off, because if you're doing it, it's probably important. What a lot of business owners do when they're hiring a VA or whatever, they take what they're doing, they keep everything they're doing, and they get the VA to do additional stuff. And that's okay because they're maybe doing a job like lead generation or whatever. But what you've just done there is create more work, and you're not any freer from a new person coming into the business. You've got to make sure they're taking stuff off your list, and they do it better than you because they've got more time, they can put more energy into it while you're trying to put out all the fires. Okay, so that's the constraints, solutions. And then what success looks like? Well, you're going to have a sales system that is defined and documented. You're going to have your offers that are premium and clearly positioned. You're going to have a basic funnel and CRM in place. Delivery is handled with less input from you. A support VA or operations manager will own key parts of the business for them to, move the needle in. 10 to 15K months are going to be consistent and reliable. And here's the bottom line. Stage 2 is all about going from traction to structure. You don't need to do it all yourself anymore. And if you keep trying, you'll cap your growth. This is your moment to build systems, lead your team, tighten your offer and marketing so that it scales without the stress. The faster you build the engine, the sooner you stop running on adrenaline. So there you have it. So just to get the pen out, this is now 50K to 100K, which is a big jump, and you might be here for a long, long time. This is probably the income range. 3 to 5K per month is very, very long, but you have to be careful here that you don't end up with a season ticket. We joke about it, but you can end up with a season ticket at this income bracket. You're going to be susceptible to a higher VAT and tax if you're in the UK. This is going to be a very big percentage if you end up here. They change it sometimes. It's changed a few times, but it's around about the 90K mark where you're going to have to pay a high end of VAT and tax. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. What I will say though is that when you go between that range, this is a very difficult place to be. So in my opinion, instead of trying to dabble and save money, and especially if you're an online business, you don't have much stuff to claim back. You want to be sitting here at about 15K per month is the sweet spot, because that extra 5K covers the tax and the VAT. It covers everything else, and you can start to get up to a nice, healthy 50 to 60% profit margin business again. Maybe more if you're online. If you're in person, it's going to be less. But yeah, this is why I'm doing this, because on the surface, it'll look great having this size of business, but you can be here quite a long time if you don't fix these constraints, and it can start eating into your profit margin. You start living like that kind of business owner, and it gets in. Been there, trust me, I spent way more than I could afford. You're susceptible to higher VAT and tax. If you're not getting VAT and tax, you're based somewhere offshore, then you're probably spending way more money anyway living like that. That 90K range is when you obviously pay that, and you want to get back straight up to 15K. Hopefully by following the processes you've seen here, we want to get you up to 15K, so that, this is me just spouting it, but like 5K here can go to all of that, and you can keep the rest to a degree. Anyway, hopefully you found that very tactical, very useful, considering it's an income range where we could talk about a million things. It's not just post more content. It's some tactical, actionable stuff that you can take away. And if you liked it, let me know in the comments. Of course, please subscribe, tap like, and I'll see you in the next video. You might also find this video here useful.